Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Star Wars Wednesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Spin Masters 4D build Star Wars Venator class Star Destroyer cardstock model kit. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging, and here we have 4D build, detailed models, easy to assemble. It says to right there, it's really small. Designed for display, and there it gives the dimensions of the finished product. 288 pieces, Spin Masters, and if you want to see all that information, I'll bring it up a little bit. So it's in inches and centimeters, and they're Spin Masters Venator class Star Destroyer cardstock model kit Star Wars. And then we have a nice, it looks like an illustration of the product here. And, you know, I mean, it does have details that the product has. It's squared off in areas, and, you know, it's not... You know, it's not like a picture of one of the ships from the movies. But I will have to say, the Death Star? Really? And it's the second Death Star. What the heck? So anyway, there is that. On the top, we'll look at that in a minute, I guess. You can see right there, I got it at Ollie's. And here we have a symbol I'm not going to learn. Content may vary from pictures, safety requirements, yada yada yada. Spinmaster.com. Some other symbols I'm not going to learn there. On this side, 4D build Venator class Star Destroyer cardstock model kit Star Wars. And then again another illustration. Then on this side, again, same information. 4D build Venator class Star Destroyer cardstock model kit. And an illustration, Star Wars, and there's the barcode and some other stuff. And then on the top portion, 4D build, Star Wars illustration. Finally, we're moving around to the back, 4D build, Venator class Star Destroyer cardstock model kit, Star Wars, 288 pieces, no tools required, and there are no tools required. And again, here's the dimensions. At least the length, I guess. Well, no. It gives all the dimensions. And then in inches and in centimeters. So, there's that. Design. That's how it looks in the box. Times 14 of those. Not that look exactly like this, but 14 sheets in there. Display and durability. And it does have lots of nice supports on the inside. Because, yes, I have already built the thing. And it does have a lot of detail. Contents, 14 cardstock sheets, glue and instructions. Glue, I had one piece that I ended up losing that I probably should have glued, but didn't. But for the most part, glue is not required. And there's Spin Master, small fine legalese print, made in China print, Disney print, Lucasfilm print. And that, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the model kit and accoutrement. And first up, we have the cardboard sprue, for lack of a better term, for it. And it's basically just a cardboard sheet that you pop the pieces out of. It's, you know, corrugated. I didn't think they were, but this one is, at least. And you can see, you know, some quite big pieces popped out of it. And this one does not fold over like the Millennium Falcon to fit in the box. The box was a bit bigger than those, and that's because this model is a bit bigger, or at least longer and taller, and so it's bigger. So here we got 4D build. We've got the Venator class Star Destroyer right here with the Death Star 2 in the background. Not accurate, but anyway, detailed models, easy assembly, designed for display, and all three of those things are pretty true. And then there's kind of a measurement of it. You should see a silhouette of the dude in the background. So it's 27 inches by 13.6 inches by 10 3/4 inches, and there it is in centimeters if you'd rather have that. It's 288 pieces from Spin Master, Venator class Star Destroyer, cardstock model kit, Star Wars 12 and up, and then, you know, again, the picture right there. And the way the instructions look on the inside, and we'll just skip like toward the middle somewhere, so you can see it pretty much is pretty detailed instructions on how to put this thing together. And you can see like there's some of the inside of it, so you can see it does have a lot of support and stuff in there, and it does make it pretty sturdy. And this one is probably the sturdiest out of the three that I've put together so far. That's not to say there are not some pieces. And I did actually lose one piece of this because, of course, I didn't glue it together. And this one doesn't tell you to glue everything together, but there's a little nub piece down here on the other side as well. And it came off and got lost somewhere. But you can see the printed details on this, as well as the 3D effect of some of the pieces that stick out, is really pretty good. And you know, the guns fall a little flat when you look at them this way, but this way not so bad. You can see there's one up here at the front, and it's on both sides. And like I said, it's got just nice printed designs through it, and it looks really good. The only goofy part of it is this nub on the end. If I can get it around here, you can see it. You know, this nub on the end, you know, that looks pretty funky, and that's the only problem I really have with this piece. It is really long, and you do have to have quite a bit of shelf space to display it. As you can see, some of the engines get cattywampus, probably when I was just handling it there. But you can see all that looks really, really good, and really takes you back to the Clone Wars. And on the bottom, it's got that same level of detail and 3D stuff. There's a docking bay that Star Destroyers are known for. And so, again, I think this, out of the three that I've done thus far, this one is probably my favorite. And I forgot to put these out here, but it does come with stands that you do have to put together. And this one has two. And this one says Star Wars Venator class Star Destroyer. And this one also says that. And you see how this one has, you know, it's V-shaped, but then it has this notch up in the top of it, or tab up in the top of it. And that's because it does go in here a very specific way. And that is where the lower docking bay is. It fits in there. And then the other one goes down toward the end. And now, of course, it does not want to do right. Did I not get it in there right? I thought I did. Maybe it goes further. That doesn't seem right. I did have this put together before, and did right. Like it was supposed to. Maybe it doesn't go in that. Maybe it just goes, yeah, there we go. Now I've got it. That channel that runs behind the docking clamp or docking bay where my finger is, that's where that goes. And then this one goes down toward the end. Yes, that balance is much, much better. And there you have it, my friends, the Venator class Star Destroyer from the Clone Wars and probably early years of the Empire as well. For final thoughts on the Spin Master 4D build Venator class Star Destroyer cardstock model kit, I have to say, you know, I really, really dig this one. I think out of the 3 that I've done so far, and I have a few more still left to put together, but out of the 3 so far, this one is probably my favorite. I think it's the most detailed looking, right next to the Millennium Falcon. They're like right on par with each other. And of course, those are both Spin Master ones, and I think the rest of the ones that I have are 4D Cityscape incorporated. But you know, I really, really like this one. I hate that I lost one piece for it. That really sucks, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not really that noticeable. Some of it looks a little bit crooked here, and that's because some of it probably is a little crooked here. But again, I really, really like this one. It was pretty fun to put together. There wasn't a lot of frustrating moments with it. Not to say there weren't any, but not as many as, say, with the Slave 1. And I hope that one is the most frustrating one that I have to do. I hope the rest of them that I have to do aren't nearly as frustrating, I guess, as it's that one. But again, I really dig this one. It really gives me that Clone Wars feel. It definitely has that silhouette to it, even in cardboard form, that just says, you know, I'm fixing to blow up some shit. And you know, that's what these ships were made for, and sending out lots of starfighters. It would have been cool if we could have had some starfighters to go with it, but I actually think I have an old it's an old, like, I don't want to call it a trading card game, but that's basically what it was. You bought blind packs like cards, and it came with these cardboard cards in it, and those cardboard cards had little models in it, and you put them together, and they might scale pretty good with this. In fact, I think I have the giant model of this that goes with that set. I don't know, I can't quite remember, but yeah, it would be cool to see how those work with this. I think they probably don't scale great with it. I think they're a little bit big to go with this, but you never know. I may have to dig those out and see how they scale with it. But again, I really like this one. It's pretty cool. And it would have been nice if, you know, it came with just a few little ships to go with it, like maybe the Twilight or a couple of Jedi starfighters, the Delta 7Bs, maybe a Y-Wing, an ARC 170, you know, just one extra sheet in there with nothing but little ships to go with this. That would be kind of cool, but then where would you put them? I don't know. I'm just talking out of my butt at this point, I guess. But you know, I dig this one. I really like it. It's really, really cool. I've always liked the Venator and the Acclimator class Star Destroyers, as you know, in the Clone Wars. And, you know, I think they were nice predecessors to, you know, the Imperial Star Destroyers. And I'm not just meaning the Imperial class, but you got the Victory, which I think was kind of introduced toward the end, very, very end of the Clone Wars in limited numbers. And then, you know, you went from that to the Imperial and the Imperial Class 2 and Super Star Destroyers and Death Stars and so on. But yeah, I really like this one. And if you're at an Ollie's and you see that, which is where I picked this up, is at Ollie's for pretty good price. And, you know, they don't always have stuff at Ollie's that I want. And I wasn't really sure I wanted this one. This was actually the first one I picked up and put together. And once I put this one together, I was like, well, I'll go back. They had a couple of different ones. And then later on, they got a couple more different ones and so on and so forth. And you know, they're not very expensive at all. So if you just need something to kill an afternoon and end up with a nice looking piece that you then have to make a bunch of shelf space for, here you go. This one is it. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you were in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help channel grow, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.